Welcome to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yance. This is episode 19, and we are talking about the feud between Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega. I'm going to talk about the run-up to it, the matches, and much more. So, stay tuned. So, let's talk about how Kenny Omega got to this point. Because at this point in time, Kazuchika Okada was already pretty much the champion. He had defeated Tanahashi. And he goes through a little bit of a challenge where Naito takes the title from him, and then he wins the title back at Dominion. But the real story, where this begins, is with Kenny Omega and assuming the Bullet Club leadership. And this happens at New Year's Dash. This is January 5th, 2016. Kenny Omega and AJ Styles team up to face Nakamura and Yoshihashi. And Omega pins Nakamura. Now at this point in time, Nakamura, AJ Styles, and some others are on their way to the WWE. So they're doing the favors. They're doing the honors. Kenny Omega defeats Nakamura. So he's already defeated Nakamura now. And at the end of this match, after this match is over, they're celebrating and they super kick AJ Styles. The Young Bucks super kick AJ Styles. Omega does the Styles Clash on AJ Styles. And he says he wants Nakamura's IC title. Now Omega and the Young Bucks become the Elite. And this takes us to New Beginning, where Tanahashi versus Omega for the vacant IC title. Omega defeats Tanahashi with the Angel Wings to become the IC champion. This leads to a ladder match. Now, one match that was kind of interesting that I didn't know about was Jay White faced Omega at one point here, and Omega defeats him. Omega faces Elgin at April 27, 2016. This was the beginning of the Tanahashi build. Omega is basically a heel right now. And it was supposed to be Omega versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the IC title in a ladder match. This will be the first ever ladder match for Tanahashi. But he gets hurt. Which brings us to 6/19/2016. Dominion, Omega faces Elgin. And Elgin wins the IC title. Now at this show, I believe Okada wins the title back from Nakamura. Excuse me, not Nakamura. He wins the title back from Naito, who had a short run here. And this is going to bring us to G1 Climax 26. This begins with Omega facing Yano. Omega wins. There's a lot of matches here, but the main thing that happens here is that Omega defeats Naito, who had just lost the belt to Okada. And now Omega defeats Naito. Omega beats her, and this is kind of... You're starting to see that this is kind of a face turn in some ways. You're seeing the seeds for a face turn because people saw throughout this whole G1 Climax that Omega was really good. And Omega defeats Goto to become the winner of the G1 Climax 26. And now he has the briefcase. Now it's Omega versus Yoshi Tanahashi. Omega beats Yoshihashi at Destruction. This is 9/22/2016. October 10th, 2016, King of Wrestling. Goto faces Omega. Omega defeats him again. Power Struggle, 11/5/2016. Omega pins Okada in a tag match. This is going to bring us to the first match, Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom 11, and we will talk about that next. Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom 11, 1/4/17, Omega versus Okada. This is an amazing match. One of the big things about this match is this is the first time Dave Meltzer ever gave a match 6 stars. This broke the rating scale of 5 stars to 6 stars. It was that good. Now this is an amazing match, and I cannot wait to talk about it. I've watched this probably 5 times in a row to be able to talk about this in depth the way I'm going to talk. First thing I want to talk about is the stage. The setup looks like an eye. I thought that was a really cool touch. Now let's get to the entrances. Kenny Omega has taken on the Terminator-esque aspect of his character. A year ago, he faced Kushida, who has a Back to the Future look to him. So Omega, to match that, became the Terminator. So it was the Terminator versus Back to the Future. So he's got that. So now at this Wrestle Kingdom, he's bringing the Terminator look all to him. They do a whole little entrance thing with it. It's really cool. And he's got, he's got like the red eye on there, and he's wearing like black leather. And Kenny Omega's tights are really interesting because they like have like a belt loop so he can wear a belt. So it looks like he's wearing leather pants. Okada has a delayed entrance, and he's got the confetti, and he's got short tights and everything, and it's really cool. Now, so here we are, this match. They begin the match with them testing each other out. They're working a headlock, kind of feigns hitting him. There's a DDT on the floor by Okada. Okada introduces the table, which is very key to these matches. Okada does a dive. Omega is obsessed with beating Okada. He does the Rise of the Terminator, which is a tope over the top rope. An Indian Death Facelock, which is the red ink by Okada. This is a great hope spot, and you see the grit in Omega as he finally gets that rope. We get a moonsault to the outside by Omega. The table, Kenny puts the table on Okada and does a missile dropkick onto the table. We have a power bomb, first near fall, a second power bomb. You can feel the build. The Bucks set up the table. We get a dropkick from the top to the outside, a signature of Okada. Best dropkick today. Okada tries to slam Okada into the table spot. He can't do it. Omega tries the one-winged angel back into the thing, but Omega ends up being backdropped onto the table by Okada. This is so cool because it's like one of those small tables. It looks very painful. Okada does his top rope drop kick. He does elbows off the top. Hits the Rainmaker pose. Omega blocks the Rainmaker, and we have Omega doing the Dragon Suplex off the top. Amazing. This is a huge spot. It was really cool. Omega does a Fisherman Knee Suplex. He does the V-Trigger, which blocks to the German Suplex. Multiple German Suplex. This is an amazing spot. He blocks the V-Trigger. Okada blocks the V-Trigger into the drop kick. Reverse Hurricane Rana. V-Trigger hits. He's trying to go for the one-winged angel, but Okada blocks it, and he does a tombstone. 1, 2, 2.5 into the Rainmaker. He does the tombstone into the Rainmaker, which is 1, 2, 2.5. He does a running drop kick. The running drop kick by Okada. Great spot. Blocks the tombstone into the tombstone package. This is Omega. They're punching each other. The crowd just comes alive. There's a reverse dragon into the V-Trigger. V-Trigger into the one-winged angel. Blocks it into the Rainmaker. Can't cover him. Grabs the wrist. Omega fighting. Knees he hits the Rain Trigger, as it is called now. Blocks the Rainmaker. Another drop kick. This time by Omega. The V-Trigger, Rainmaker, one-winged angel, twisting tombstone into the Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. And Kenny Omega has lost at Wrestle Kingdom, but the way he lost made him a star. He was already, you just knew he was going to be a guy. And I remember being very disappointed when he lost this match, but I knew he had done his job. He had now become a guy. Like, they'd been setting him up. You know, we saw him take leadership at the Bullet Club. He won the G1 Climax, the first Gaijin, the first person outside of Japan to win the G1. They had set it all up brilliantly. And then he has this amazing match to really solidify himself as the best bouts machine, which is what you pretty much have to call Kenny Omega. He is the best bouts machine. And Okada held up his end. Like, he showed he could not only just be good with Tanahashi, he could be good with just about anybody now. And this was just an amazing match. It broke the Meltzer scale. I mean, when you see that, these spots they came up with, I'm not doing it justice because it's hard for me to read that to you. It's hard for me to explain to you this, but this is what a professional wrestling match needs to be. And it built up so well. They built up Kenny Omega the whole year to this point. And you see, and Okada the year before finally defeats Tanahashi at the Wrestle Kingdom, which he had never been able to do. He's never been able to defeat him, and he finally has. He avenged his loss to Naito. The two best guys are now fighting, and it did not disappoint. And when he kicks out of the Rainmaker, the place exploded. No one was expecting Omega to kick out of that Rainmaker. And when he hits the next Rainmaker and he pins him, I mean, it was just an amazing match. And this is the beginning of this feud, which is going to be 4 matches. And it's very hard for me to discuss matches without giving you the significance. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the spots. I kind of ran through the match, but I really want to talk about some of the spots that I really enjoyed in this match. My first favorite spot in this match is the red ink by Okada. To me, that just showed how important this match was to Kenny Omega. I'm getting excited talking about it. I'm losing my train of thought, but he was just the grit to get that rope. You just felt it. And then when Okada blocks the V trigger into the drop kick, I mean, wow. And the dragon suplex off the top. Amazing. These are amazing things. And the way he blocked the one-winged angel into this, he does this flip into it is amazing. I mean, this match is 46 minutes and 45 seconds. You see women crying after it's over. It was something you as a wrestling fan, you're hoping to see that kind of match. Do you get it all the time? Rarely do you get this. But with this match, you got it. And when he hit that twisting tombstone and then the Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3, even though I really wanted Omega to win, you knew that the job had been done and Omega had become a star, a true star. So now we're going to talk about the lead up to Dominion. Now at this point, Kenny Omega kind of takes a little bit of a sabbatical for a little while. We didn't know where he was going. Some people thought he might have been going to the WWE because at this point in time, New Japan had done just 1-year contracts with him. So we have, so the first match we'll talk about after this spectacular, which my friend calls it the first. He came up with the first, the draw, the action, the turn. And I will explain all of those. But the first, amazing match, go watch it. It will not disappoint. So let's talk about the build-up to the next match, the draw. This is Dominion. So Honor Rising, we have the Briscoes, Okada, and Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, Cody, and the Young Bucks. And Cody pins Will Ospreay. This is the first time we see Omega in like a month or so. We did not know if he was coming back. Now we have Okada versus Suzuki. This is February 5th, 2017. I jumped a little bit. Sorry about that. Suzuki was really on a roll. He attacked Okada at New Year's Dash. We're off to the races. Okada defeats him. Not my favorite match, but a good match. The 45th anniversary was Tiger Mask versus Okada. Okada defeats Tiger Mask. I believe the person playing Tiger Mask was Ibushi. He was like under a mask, and it was this kind of thing. Next match we'll talk about. This is a great match. This could be a match we could talk about on its own. This is 4/9/17. April 9th, 2017. Kazuchika Okada versus Shibata at Sakura Genesis. Okada wins. The sad part about this is the end of Shibata's career. He does a headbutt in there, and he got a hemoglobin from that, and it ended his career. Now he's become one of the greatest. He's become a great trainer. So don't feel sad for him. Well, it is sad, because this was such an amazing match. This was a match that was going to propel him into stardom. At this point in time, you started seeing Okada as like this guy that was making the stars. Like he was really taking up the slack that Tanahashi usually was reserved for. And now he had this amazing match with Shibata. And Shibata loses, but man, he became a huge star from this. Unfortunately, it ended his career, so we never got to see the fruits of that labor. So now we go to May 3rd, 2017. Okada defeats Bad Luck Fale. He's continuing his run through the Bullet Club. Ishii versus Omega. Omega wins. And this will bring us to Okada versus Omega 2. And we're going to talk about that next. Now we're at Dominion. This is 6/11/2017. If you remember at last year's Dominion, Kenny Omega lost the title to Michael Elgin. Now he's had the match with Okada, and he lost at Wrestle Kingdom. But a lot of people thought he could have still beat him. So here we are, Dominion, what my friend calls the draw. Osaka Joe Hall. Omega asks him after his match with Bad Luck Fale that he wants to face Omega. So here we are. Omega comes out with the Bucks. He looks like Jerry Lynn here. He's got his hair in a ponytail, the black trunks with his logo. It's a little similar to what he had at Wrestle Kingdom. Not exactly. Okada comes out with Gato. Cool little intro. Okada, the robes, short tights, medium, colorful, silver and red. Okada and Omega go into the mat wrestling at the very beginning of this. They're one-upping each other. It's the trademark Omega feign. Omega teases one-winged angel. Okada teases the dropkick. Okada tweaks his knee. Okada front face lock. Rise of the Terminator. Boot to the face. Okada does the tope. Tweaks his knee. Now this is the beginning of like the little chink in his armor. Omega now goes for the knee. And Omega outside the rope he does a missile drop kick to the knee. Figure 4 leg lock by Kenny. We get a lifting knee drop to the table outside. We get the red ink by Okada. Shades of the first. We're looking back at the first. And Omega shoves him to the outside. Okada does his running avalanche splash, which some call it the Scooby-Dooby-Doo, I've heard, but I've never heard anyone actually call it that. The backhead crush by Okada to Omega. We get an Asaya moonsault. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. To the outside. This is a missile dropkick to the back of Okada's head. We get another tease of a one-winged angel somersault to the moonsault. Okada blocks. Okada hits a European uppercut. We get a back. Slow off the top ring apron. Okada introduces a table. Now once again, Okada introduces a table. Teases a backdrop from the first. Drop kick from Omega when Omega dives. Elbow drop by Okada. Rainmaker pose. Omega hits the fisherman's suplex off the top rope, which has a name, but I don't have it written down right now. It's a lot of names to some of these moves. V-trigger into the German suplex. Blocks into a drop kick. Omega wins that exchange. Omega blocks the V-trigger. Okada blocks the V-trigger. Okada does German suplexes. Rainmaker, 1, 2 count. Omega blocks dropkick into the powerbomb. Dragon suplex, dropkick to the outside by Okada. Okada Omega on the table. Elbow off the top, looks brutal. Okada does his elbow off the top, this time to Omega. Dropkick off the top rope by Okada, running dropkick twice. We get a Rainmaker by Okada. Omega pleading. He's grabbing the rope, and now we've got the Bullet Club come out. And Cody brings out a towel, and the Bullet Club comes out. And the Young Bucks are like, no, don't stop it. Don't stop the match. And V-trigger, back to the match. We get a V-trigger, and then the reverse Hurricane Rana. Omega wipes the towel and throws it outside the ring. And then we get a V-trigger into a dropkick by Okada. And Okada wipes his with the towel and throws it. We get a V-trigger again to One-Winged Angel, but he doesn't get it. V-trigger again, hits the One-Winged Angel. Now finally, Omega does hit the One-Winged Angel, but Okada is so close to the rope that all he has to do is touch the rope with his foot. It's a 2 count. Amazing spot. Points the V-trigger, but Okada hits the drop kick. And to that, then we have the V-trigger, 1, 2 count. We got a tombstone. Omega collapses when Okada hits the Rainmakers. He's about to hit the Rainmaker, but Omega just collapses. And then he blocks the second tombstone by Omega. V-trigger onto a Kamagoye. V-trigger again on the third V-trigger, but Okada drop kick to the head, spinning TS bridging German by Okada. 1, 2 count, small package. Omega, Okada drop kicks him. We get a dragon suplex, drop kick by Okada. Okada hits the Rainmaker. Okada claws for the pin. Because Okada finally hits the Rainmaker. 1, 2, but the timer runs out. They've only got 60 minutes, and it's a draw. And we've seen a draw now. He had him beat, but he didn't have enough time to get the pin. And now we've really solidified Kenny Omega as the best bouts machine and Okada. Like, these are the two best guys now. And a lot of us were like going, is he ever going to get the title? What is the deal here? But this was a time limit draw. We haven't really seen an hour-long match for years. You'd have to kind of go back to the Ring of Honor days and stuff. You haven't really seen that hour-long match in a while, and they did it perfectly. Only thing I didn't like was the Bullet Club interference. I thought that was a little much. But Dominion is this is a match that broke the stars again, because I think we got, It's 7 stars I think we got for this one. It was 7, I believe it's 7 stars for Dominion. And Okada said that he thinks they went a little too soon to this match, back to the well a little bit, but, it works. This is such an amazing... It's hard for me to put this into words, because I can't really, I'm running through the match, but it's hard to, really put it out there with it. But if you watch this match, these matches they call back to the first match, and it was so great. I mean, my favorite spot is when Omega just collapses and he can't do it, and he can't, and then when he finally does hit the Rainmaker, there's not enough time. And then my other favorite spot, he finally hits the One-Winged Angel, but he's right near the rope, so he has to do is put his foot. So it's not even really a kick out. It's that he just touched the rope. So that's Dominion. It's hard to really put these matches into words. I'm trying to. These, to me, are some of the greatest matches ever. They're up there with Mitsuharu Misawa versus Kobashi. It's up there with Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair. These are the matches. These are the matches I look at. These are the golden childs, I would say. So we will now talk about the lead up to when Omega and Okada finally fight again at the G1. So here we go. Now, there's not really much to say about the lead up to this, because after this we're like right into the G1. You know, we were in June, now we're in July. But here's one thing that did happen at this point in time. On July 1st, 2017, Elgin loses to Omega in the U.S. tournament. And then on July 2nd, 2017, Omega defeats Jay Lethal in the semifinals. And then Omega beats Ishii for the U.S. championship, the New Japan United States champion. He is the first ever. So Omega finally gets a belt back. But he's the first ever United States champion. And Okada beats, I believe he beats Cody at this show. Yeah. So now we're on to G1 Climax 27. And Omega, good matches all around. But let's get to the match that we all want to talk about. That is the end. This is 8/12/2017, Omega versus Okada, G1 Climax 27, Korakuen Hall, and it's only 30 minutes to the fall. They've only got 30 minutes to do this. They don't have 40 minutes. They don't have an hour. Let's see if they can do this. So Omega comes out wearing the United States title. He's got a black jacket, trunks with black and blue, Omega sign. Okada has changed his hair. It's now more of a gold black. And they're going it fast this time. Guinea going for the V-trigger early, thrown into the barriers. Okada, stands, avalanche to the outside to the people. Missile dropkick to the back of the head, slap to the face. Omega going for the sleeper, air raid crash, neck breaker. This is by Okada. DDT, Okada favoring his neck. Okada's got a hurt neck in this match. So somersault to the moonsault. Kenny Omega, Okada blocks it. We get the rise of the Terminator into Okada doing a flapjack, because he runs in and he just flapjacks him and runs into the ring. Reverse Hurricane Rana to the outside on Okada. Okada is hurt. Kenny hits the Dragon Suplex on the apron, the Snapdragon Suplex. And then he hits an Anoya Shuda. V-trigger to the face twice. One-winged angel but it's reversed into the tombstone. The suplex and a Suda blocks, top rope drop kick, blocks, Rainmaker, V-trigger, drop kick running, V-trigger, German Okada, Omega blocks the Rainmaker, Uranage. Then we have the one-winged angel blocked again into the Rainmaker, 2 count, crawls for the cover, tombstone blocked into the roll-up, Omega. Rainmaker, wrist control, pulls up Kenny. Rainmaker 1, 2 count. Third Rainmaker attempt. Kenny, two Germans. Okada blocks. We get a reverse Rana pin. 1, 2. Croyo's Wrath. 2 count. We haven't seen this in a long time. We get another $1 million dropkick by Okada. The Rain V-trigger. The Tiger Driver. V-trigger, shoots it. He hits the V-trigger, and now he shoots it. Shoots it. This is a shoot V-trigger where he does the point with the shoot. And then he hits the one-winged angel. Finally, 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega has finally defeated Okada in a one-on-one match. Wow. Huge match. Everyone was so excited. I remember being on my feet when I saw this and screaming so loud when he finally defeated Okada. Kazuchika Okada finally has lost to Kenny Omega. And it was what a match. These guys showed that once again they can have a match anywhere. And we call this match, my friend has the titles here, because I want to make sure that I start, calling it that. I gotta find the, got all these, oh, here we are. The action, he calls it. The action. But, wow, what a match. Finally, the one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega defeats Okada. This is just, this is another 5-star match. I think it was even more than a 5-star match. You just, you don't get these kind of matches. Now, as a fan, you are realizing that, like, these guys are going to have great matches no matter when they face. No matter what kind of match. I mean, this time they did it a little faster. They only had 30 minutes, but man, they told it in like 24 minutes. And a lot of people thought maybe they're going to go for another draw. I mean, they're going to drive this out. And Kenny Omega, he hit the V trigger, the shot it, one-winged angel, 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega finally defeats Okada. It was a sight to behold when you saw this. Because it took so damn long for him to finally beat this guy. And here we are, we finally have the beating. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the next match after, because now we go into the G1 final. That was the end of I forget which block he was in at this time. I think this was I think it was B block. And Naito was A block. So Tetsuya Naito versus Omega. This is another great match. And this is the next night. But here, Naito defeats Kenny Omega. He took everything out of him to beat Okada. He couldn't do it twice. He couldn't beat, Naito. And Naito pins Omega with the Destino. This is a great match. If you want to see a great match, go see that. So we've got 3 great matches here. And the next thing we're going to talk about the build up to it, and then we're going to talk about the end of this feud. Now, at this point in time, everyone assumed that Tetsuya Naito was going to be the guy to beat Okada, because he won G1 27, and he is going to face Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 12. So, let's talk a little bit about how we get to Dominion 2018. This is a big story. A lot of things happen at this point in time. So now, September 24, 2017, Omega faces Juice. Omega wins. We're at King of Pro Wrestling. It's Okada versus Evil. Okada defeats him. He's kind of running through all the LIJ, the Los Ingobernables de Japan. Omega faces Trent Beretta November 11th, 2017. Jericho. So here we go. Omega defeats Beretta November 11th, 2017. Remember, Okada defeated Evil October 9th, 2017. So now we're in November. And after this happened, the Bucks and Jericho in the ring, and we get a video package. And the video package is none other than Chris Jericho. I know I kind of spoiled it up a little bit, but yes, Chris Jericho challenges Kenny Omega. And this was like, oh wow. The WWE guy versus the New Japan guy. It was amazing. No one thought that was happening. And that is just like, wow. So now we're at the road to the Wrestle Kingdom, and this is Okada and Yo and Sho versus Naito and Bushi and Hiromu. Pretty good match. Okay. Let's get to Wrestle Kingdom. So Wrestle Kingdom 12, we have Okada versus Naito, and we have Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. This is January 4th, 2018. Omega defeats Jericho in one of Jericho's best matches with the one-winged angel. Great match. Then we have Okada versus Naito, and everyone's thinking that Naito is going to be the guy to defeat Okada. Okada defeats Naito. Wow. Who's going to be the guy to beat Okada? Because he's beaten everybody now. It's amazing. We're all just like, what is this? But that was an amazing Wrestle Kingdom. So now we're at New Beginning, January 28, 2018. and Omega faces Jay White. And Jay White had lost to Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom. He's kind of coming up in the ranks. He's now the Switchblade Jay White. And he shocks everyone. He defeats Omega for the United States Championship. They did a little thing where he teased going to the Bullet Club, and then he went to Chaos. It was great. So Omega gets turned at this. So after Jay White defeats Omega, Omega gets turned on by the Bullet Club. We have Cody laying him out, and lo and behold, amazing, Kota Ibushi saves Omega, and they hug, and it's an emotional moment. The Golden Lovers unite. Huge moment. And now we're at New Beginning Osaka. Okada versus Sanada. Sanada's kind of coming up. Okada defeats him. This is February 20th, 2018. On a Rising, February 24th, 2018, the Golden Lovers defeat Marty Scurll and Cody Rhodes. Okada versus Will Ospreay, March 6, 2018. Okada defeats Will Ospreay. And people start really seeing Will Ospreay as like a guy coming up. Strong Style Live, March 25th, 2018. Omega and Ibushi face the Young Bucks in an emotional match where they hit the Kamigoye. Golden Lovers win. Also on that show, Ishii and Okada, Chaos Guys versus Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. Suzuki and Zack win. This brings us to Genesis. Remember, last year's Genesis ended Shibata's career. So now Zack Sabre Jr. versus Okada, April 1st, 2018. That's a little bit, I think it was April 7th, 2017, so a little under a year. Okada defeats Zack Sabre Jr. Now everybody's still saying, like, who is going to beat Okada? Because he hasn't lost. We have the Golden Lovers versus Cody and Adam Page. Adam Hangman Page. Cody wins. He does the tights. I thought this sucked. I don't like that crap. Wrestling Donataku, Futaku. Okada versus Tanahashi, May 4, 2018. Okada defeats Tanahashi, breaking the record of the most successful title defenses in New Japan history. And this is an amazing match. This is Tanahashi at his best, and wow, did not disappoint. So now we're May 3rd, 2018. I wrote this a little wrong. Omega faced Page, and Omega wins. So Okada defeats Tanahashi. The night before, Omega defeats Hangman Adam Page. So now we are at Osaka-jo Hall. 2 out of 3 falls is where we're going. It is Dominion. This is the end of the feud. This is what we call the turn. And we're going to talk all about that. But so as you can see, nobody has defeated Okada for the title since Dominion 2016. So for 2 years this man has held this title. Defeating Shibata, Bad Luck Fale, Kenny Omega, Cody, everybody, Naito. He has defeated everybody. So now we're like, if he doesn't lose here, when's he going to lose? So that's what we're going to talk about. Dominion. Next. Here we are. Dominion. 6/9/2018. Omega versus Okada. 2 out of 3 falls. No time limit. For me, this is my favorite match of all of them. This, and then the first one, then the G1 match, and then last year's Dominion. So here we are. Let's get to it. Omega has an Avengers Infinity War opening where Ibushi asks Omega, what did it cost to get here? And Omega says, everything. Harkening back to when Thanos is asked by his daughter as a little girl, what did it cost? And he says, everything. Great stuff. Kenny Omega, huge face here. He's now blonde. No more the dirty blonde with the white stuff in it. The best bouts machine is here. Omega, blonde, black tights, blue line trimming, purple and yellow, Omega watch kind of logo, and he's coming out with Ibushi. He's a golden lover now. Kazuchika Okada coming out with Gato, golden boots, Rainmaker in gold, all. He's got the blonde flat top now. Now he's got the long tights. At this point in time, Okada switched to long tights. So let's get to it. Wrist lock. They are testing each other out. Harkens back to all their matches except for G1. Leg lock. Kenny pays Omega with the love tap slap where he feigns he's going to hit him and then he just slaps him. They tease going after each other's with finishers. One winged angel to the outside. Not quite. V-trigger outside. Okada throat. Oh yeah. He does the splash. And Omega catches him in the throat. He catches Okada right in the throat with it. We get a scoop slam on the barricade. Elbows to the chest by Omega. Kicks to the back. Shining Wizard. Backbreaker. Camel clutch by Omega. Kick to the back. Omega very aggressive here. Chop by Omega. He turns into the U-turn. Tries to do Rainmaker. Cross arm by Okada. Tope to the outside. Drop kick to the outside by Omega. Vertical body to the outside. Omega. Anuya Shuda. That's for 2. Kenny tries to do everything. V-trigger into the German is blocked. Into another V-trigger. Very hard to explain all these things. Snap Rana into the blocked. Okada does a bridging German. Omega trying for the superplex. Forearms into Omega. Omega trying for the Dragon Super. Okada does a tombstone on the apron. Drop kick to Omega. Hits barricade. Okada goes to work on Omega's back. Now Okada being aggressive. Okada drop kick off the top rope. Okada does an elbow drop. Okada Rainmaker pose. Snapdragon by Omega, though. He's playing possum. He does the... we get the rise of the Terminator. Hits from Omega. Missile dropkick by Kenny to Okada's backhead. One winged angel. He tries to it, but he goes into a Kratos kind of wrath thing. We get the Dragon Rush. V-trigger. Drop kick to the back, $1 million drop kick, rain trigger, kicks out, 1-2, underhook, pile driver, blocked by Rana by Okada, Okada, tombstone, Okada, trapping pin by Okada. He traps him into, he locks the legs in. We have a 2-minute rest. So Okada has won the first fall. Okada goes after Kenny. Drop kick on Kenny onto the turnbuckle. Omega shoved to the railing. Okada DDT to Omega on the floor. Okada no-sells the chops. Okada big boot. Okada does the deep in debt stunner by Omega. Omega pulls table out, puts it on Okada. So this time Omega pulls the table out. Omega drop kick. Okada in pain. Omega drop kicks the table into him, and you can hear the pain from him. Omega blocks the senton by Okada. You can't escape. Blocked into a backdrop suplex. Shotgun drop kick by Okada. We have the avalanche and a Shuda. You can't escape. Blocked again. Rolling uppercut by Okada. Table tease. Omega twisting DDT. He saves it. Omega tries to go, but Okada gets the German. One winged angel blocked into rain block. Rainmaker is blocked. Omega hits the Rana to the outside. V-trigger. Jumping tombstone Okada. Uranage. Shades of last year. As you can see, Okada, Omega exchange blows. Snapdragon. Rush Dragon. Drop kick to Okada. Drop kick to from Omega. Omega powerbomb. V-trigger. Underhook trapping pin. But he gets out this time. It did not beat him. V-trigger, underhook biodriver, shooting the V-trigger. One winged angel, 1, 2, 3. Now Omega has a fall over Okada. They are 1 fall apiece. We have another 2-minute rest. Third match, V-trigger, one winged angel blocks the Rainmaker, crawls for the 2 count, blocks the tombstone. Omega fails to get Okada up, and Okada tries again. Uppercuts. Omega pounding Okada's back. Styles clap. What was it? 1, 2 count on the ropes. Shades of Dominion last year. V-trigger, back of the head. Omega collapses. blocks the one-winged angel. Tombstone reverse. Omega hits the spike tombstone. Ibushi tells Omega to hit his move. He goes for the Phoenix Splash. Okada gets out of the way. Okada drop kick. Tombstone blocks. V-trigger. 2 V-triggers. Sitting down, shouting. Okada catches the knee. Drop kick. He hits the V-trigger. 1, 2, and then Okada catches it. He does the drop kick. Rainmaker. Okada collapses. This time Okada collapses. Shades of Omega collapsing last year. Omega and Okada trade blows. He hits the Rainmaker wrist control. 2 Rainmakers, but Okada collapses again. Omega's eyes are in the back of his head. Omega blocks the Rainmaker with German holding him. 2 Germans. Okada counters with German holds on, counters the Rainmaker into a German. Reverse Rana. Omega hits. Okada dropkick. One-winged angel, but Kenny collapses, so he can't get the pin. Then he's got him up. They're like right on the ropes, fighting each other. They're both exhausted, done, tired. Omega though gets it up, hits the V trigger. Then he's got him up. He's got him in the one-winged angel. Everyone knows what is it gonna happen. Wham! One-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega finally defeats Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. He is the man. He ends Okada's 2-year reign. Clean, 2 straight falls. This is a match you must see. After it's over, they're both exhausted. Ibushi's helping him up. The Bucks come out, and they're putting the belt on Omega. And Omega and Ibushi and the Bucks, they all hug. And it's such a great moment. I cried watching this. It was so amazing. I mean, after this battle, this battle. And as he's being carried out, Kevin Kelly's going, he may be the greatest world champion of this generation or of all time. And you could say that. I mean, he just, what a match. And Kenny Omega finally hitting the one-wing and in 1, 2, 3, beating Okada right in the center of the ring. If you watch the tape, you can see Gato just fall down. It's so great. Amazing. I mean, just a well-told feud. Everyone is just on their feet because it's just amazing. They tease a little thing with Cody at the back of the, that he's going to come down and interfere. He leaves. Nothing happens. Omega cuts a promo in Japanese as well as in English and says, "We're taking over the world." And this is just amazing match, amazing moment. Everything was perfect. This is one of the best feuds you'll ever see. I can't say enough about it. Go see it. I mean, I'm trying to do words with, things I've written down, but it's hard to do it justice. Trying to really give you the excitement that I felt there. So now I'm going to talk about what this feud means to me next. But go see this match. Dominion. 7.5 stars, I think it was. It was close to almost 8. Amazing. Amazing match. Okay. I wanted to end this with talking a little bit about what these matches mean to me. For me, this was the best feud of the past 10 years for me because it just was so perfect. I mean, you didn't think that Omega was going to be the guy to beat him. You thought Naito was going to be the guy to beat him. And they did that swerve, and then that Dominion comes, and finally Omega's the guy that beats him. And then when he loses the title to Tanahashi, it's even better. They told such an amazing story. I would have loved to have seen an Ibushi one-on-one. They did Ibushi, Omega, and Cody, but it's not the same. They still got to do that match. And then we had, Tanahashi drops the title to Jay White, which finally Okada defeats Jay White in Madison Square Garden, a match that I saw live. But this feud, just everything. I mean, if you look at this feud, this remade New Japan. Through this feud, Chris Jericho came. Through this feud, the Bullet Club became even more powerful. Through this feud, AEW was born. All these things happened because of this feud. It all starts with this. It's all centered around this. And it's amazing that this just worked so well. I mean, you got the Bucks coming in. You've got just everything. Cody becoming a star. You got Ibushi, the Golden Lovers, coming back. You got Okada and Shibata. And Shibata's the end of his career. You got Naito really becoming a top guy. Even though he didn't win at Wrestle Kingdom, he was really becoming... All these things just played into it. It's just amazing. I can't... The last time it was something so good, I mean, for me, if we're going to talk about WWE, it has to be Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank. That was perfect. After that, you had Omega, you had Nakamura versus Tanahashi, one of the ends of the G1. I thought that was an amazing match. You had Okada versus Tanahashi. That was a great feud. But this supersedes all of them in so many ways. It broke the Meltzer Richter scale. It just, wow. I mean, things changed because of this feud. And it was so just done perfectly. They made a top guy in this. Okada became New Japan from this. He became the Inoki of New Japan from this. All these things, I mean... Okada goes insane after this. He starts coming out with balloons till when he finally returns. Jay White became a guy from this. He's the guy that defeats Omega for the United States title. All these things that just happened here. It's just amazing. And this showed that New Japan was the best booked wrestling. They are the best booked wrestling company. And it's just unheard of. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm trying to find some more interviews to talk about this because this feud is so perfect. Sorry, if we were in WWE, I'd have to call it a rivalry. They don't like the word feud. But man, just, I'm excited just talking about it. And then watching it. I watched this like 6 times in a row, all these matches. I can't put it into words. This is the best feud. This is up there with Mitsuharu Misawa versus Kenta Kobashi. This is up there with Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi when Kenta Kobashi finally comes to ROH. And this is up there with Ricky Steamboat versus Flair. Ric Flair, 2 out of 3 falls. Everything harkens back to that. This is, up there. I don't think it's as good, but Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. That feud. This is the feud. And it's amazing. And I think we need another match of this to finish this. We'll call that the Prestige when that happens. And who wins that? I don't know. All I know is this was brilliant storytelling. And I am so happy I got to talk about this. And I'm so glad I got to convey this emotion to you. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you understand that I tried to make this as entertaining as I can. I know it's a little hard to follow through with a lot of the matches thing, but I love these matches. These 4 matches are just amazing. And with that, I don't think I can talk very much about it, so I will probably see you next time. I want to thank you for listening. You can always reach me at my handle, Justin Yance, on whatever platform I'm on. This is the DMF. With DMFing with Justin Yance, or DMF with Justin Yance. I'm still not sure exactly where I'm going to go with that. I want to say thank you for listening, and I will see you next time on the DMF.